Do you have a presentation or you're just talking?
I'm just talking. When you hear the word network, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it computers or is it people? Your network is your net worth. Good morning, ladies. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. It's the first time I'm actually attending an event where there are only men. So I'm used to ladies and gentlemen. Your network is your net worth. This saying was made popular by Mr. Tim Sanders and Porter Gale. I'm sure all of you have heard of it before. Your network is your net worth. Have we ever thought about it? There are two key words in this saying: network and net worth. When you say network, what do we mean? Google tells us that a network is a group or systems that are interconnected. Groups or systems of people or things that are interconnected. For there to be a network, there must be interconnectivity. In a computer system, you have computers that are connected to each other. One of the main reasons they are connected is because they're supposed to be sharing resources. They're sharing computers, sharing software, sharing printers. They are sharing something. So the same thing applies to a network of human beings. If you are in a network and you're not sharing any ideas, you're not sharing any information, you are probably not in a network. There are certain groups of people who have done an extremely good job in terms of networks. They have developed very strong networks, particularly in the US. We've seen it with the Jews. The Jews actually create an economy within an economy where they support each other and grow together as a group. Dr. Chika, in his book, Capitalist Nigger, I don't know if any one of you have read the book, he has recognized this and calls it the spider web. You know, a spider web will allow things to get into it, but nothing comes out. So these people will set up businesses, and all of you are going to spend money with them, but they will not spend money with you. Our friends also around here, the Indians, are very good at that. Not that I have anything against them, but it works very well. Strong networks can actually support each other, support people, and actually help you to grow. So the other word in this saying is net worth. When we say net worth, what do we mean? Net worth is a very important word, particularly to FNB, because when they are lending money, they will not lend money to you if you don't have a net worth. So net worth, what does it mean? We are talking about, when we say net, it means something has been subtracted from something. So when we talk about net worth, we're actually talking about assets and liabilities. So as a person or as a business or as an organization, you do own something. You know, you own a house, a car, motor vehicles, whatever it is. Those are your assets. And your liabilities are your financial obligations or the money that you owe other people. For example, if you borrow $200,000 from FNB to go and buy a Toyota Land Cruiser, when you are driving in Cairo Road, everybody will be admiring you and thinking you're a great man because you've got a Land Cruiser. Nice, and you're waving to everybody. But when we actually come to assess your net worth, with that Land Cruiser and the loan from FNB, your net worth is zero. You own nothing because you have an asset which is 200,000 and you have a liability which is 200,000. So the idea is to grow your net worth in the sense that your assets must go higher than your liabilities. So it's very critical. It says that your net worth depends on your network. So it's very important. If your net worth depends on your network, it's very important that you master the game of networking. When you talk about networking, I'm sure a lot of people talk about connections. That's exactly what we're talking about. Yes, connections. Who do you want to meet? Where? What type of people are you going to meet? When we talk about meeting people, it is guided by your life purpose. Who are you? What do you want to be? That will determine the nature of people that you're going to meet and your networking strategy. So it's very important that you identify who you are. What's your purpose? Now, these purpose, some people discover it very early in life. For some people, it takes time. They discover it much later, and they will make wealth much later in life. At the same time, this purpose also evolves. It doesn't stay the same. It evolves as you advance in life. How do you go about growing your network? How do you go growing about your network? When you talk about networking, we're talking about developing meaningful relationships with people. How do you go about growing it? In today's world, there are basically two ways in which you can grow your network. The first one is the internet. The next one is the physical space. On the internet, there are so many ways in which you can grow your network. You can join online platforms. You can do podcasts. And there are various platforms that you can use to grow your network. Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, TikTok. The nature of the platform that you use depends on what you want to achieve. Remember, it's connected to your life purpose. It depends what you want to achieve. There are people who have done extremely well. I know a lot of people tend to think that you can only grow your business relationship on LinkedIn, but there are people who have done so even on Facebook. People have done so even on TikTok. It depends on the nature of the business. Social media, the platforms, you should be used carefully. It's a very strong way of, can be very powerful tools to grow your network, but you need to also be careful. And when you go onto these platforms, please be authentic, be genuine. They are sometimes also misused. People steal other people's identities. You have to be very careful. Networking is about developing meaningful relationships. What is the quality of your network? What type of people are you meeting? Are they helping you to grow your business? Are they helping you to build your professional and social life? Jim Rohn, an incredible motivational speaker, says you're an average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. You need to be very careful as you grow your network. He says you're an average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, because ideas, our mindsets, our belief systems are contagious. You eventually become like the people that you spend most of your time with. The people that you're spending most of your time with, what are they doing? What do they spend their time talking about? If you're in business, you're a professional, you need to be spending time with people who talk about wealth creation, personal development, business. Those are the kind of people that you're supposed to be spending your time with. You need to be very careful who you spend your time with. Is it helping you to grow your business? Remember, your network is your net worth. Are there some people here who are still single? You still have a great opportunity. You know, remember I said, you're an average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. One of them is going to be your partner, your wife. Make sure when you're choosing that wife, you're choosing the right person. She's going to have a significant influence on your life. So you remain with 4 people to choose. Those of you that are already married, I hope you made the right choice. I'm not asking anyone to go and divorce their wife. Too late. It's too late. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, growing networks done properly has a myriad of benefits. There are a lot of benefits that can be derived from the right connections, from the right networking. There are so many things that come from right networking. Are there people here who are scared of talking to strangers? Or put it that the other way. Is there somebody here who thinks they can talk to anybody anytime? Okay, so there are some people here who can't talk to anybody anytime because they are scared. I'll give you something. The only reason you are scared of speaking to strangers is that you have fear of rejection. You are scared that you'll be rejected. There is nobody in the world who's going to be accepted by everybody. Remember, whenever you approach some people will deny you, some people will say no, and it's okay if they don't want to talk to you, just as much as you can talk to everybody. But you should never stop trying to talk to new people because one or two people will say no. You have to make an effort. It's extremely important for you to meet as many people as you can and know as many people as you can, because that is going to help you. So there are a lot of benefits that come from networking. One of them is be promoted at work. You may get a good promotion because if you are well connected, if you got a good network, you are able to solve problems in the business environment very quickly at minimum cost, because you know a lot of people. You know anybody who can do anything anytime. The network is also going to give you business deals. You're going to get new business, and you'll be able to make more money and grow your assets. It will also expand your knowledge. If you're in the right network, you will learn a lot of things, and you expand your knowledge, which will help you to build your business or improve your social life. The network also may provide resources. People will be prepared to give certain things to you. But remember, you must contribute something to that network, because if you don't, there's nothing much that is going to get from that network. It's very, very critical. There's so many benefits that you can get from networking. So I talked about the growing the network on the internet. The other way is the physical space. The physical space, this is the in-person meetings, the way you grow your network using the physical space. The other one is the internet, the other one is the physical space. Now in the physical space, there are so many ways you can grow your network. One is you can join a church, and you're going to meet different types of people. You can join a trade organization. It can be a professional or a trade organization, or something to do with either your workplace or your profession. The other way is that you can join a club. Now, when you join a club, ladies and gentlemen, you must be active in that club, because if you're not active, you're not going to get much benefit from that club. I remember some time back, I used to be a member of Rotary Club of Nkwazi. I used to be fairly active in that club. There are two things that the Rotary Club does: fellowship and service. A lot of people were strong in service, others were only strong in fellowships. So what that does is that when members go to other countries, they are hosted by other members in the club. So we had two people who came from the US, they requested to be home hosted, and I offered to keep them at my house. So when you do that, you have to feed them, you have to do everything for them while they stay with you. There are two gentlemen I kept. I didn't even know what their status was. If I did, I would have probably not accepted. To cut a long story short, I kept them in my house for 30 days. When that finished, they offered my son a holiday in the US, because he was the one who was driving them around. If you offer something in a club, you are likely to get a lot of benefits. The other thing is that you can go clubbing. I remember one time when I did a presentation and I told someone about clubbing, some of them had some negative things about it. But this lady is a lawyer. She says, yes, I've seen it at my firm. Every time my friends go out, they come back with deals. But I can't, because I don't go clubbing. And I said, clubbing is just one of them. It's not necessarily the only way. There are so many things that you can do to go out and grow your network. But most of the things that I have, most of the assets that we have acquired in life have come from the networks, from the connections that we have developed. So ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you create networks, you meet as many people as you can. The other way that you can grow your network is to attend seminars, workshops like this one. You have to attend seminars, conferences, workshops like this one. The issue is how many you're going to attend, but you have to. If you're going to grow into anything, you have to attend workshops. But when you attend those workshops, don't just go there mungulu. You have to plan. There are things that need to be done before, during, and after. When you are invited to workshop, the first thing that you must do is find out who is attending that function. Because it's very important. Once you understand who is coming, then you can target some people that you are going to meet. The next thing is, if it talks about dress code, observe that dress code. If it says black tie, please go in a black tie. Because if you don't go with a black tie, two things you are doing. Number one, you are telling the people who have invited you it's not important, and you have no respect for them. Number two, you have no respect for the other people that are attending that event. and you are creating a handicap in terms of connections and talking to other people. Because if everybody's in black tie and you turn out in a Manchester United jersey and you try to speak to them, they say, does Manchester United mean something to you? Okay, so you turn up in a Manchester United jersey and everybody's in a black tie and you want to speak to someone, they look at you, but who is this guy, because they expected everybody to be in a black tie. So when you don't have the right dress code, you are creating a handicap for yourself. The other thing is, please arrive early at the function. There are two reasons why you need to arrive early at the function. The first one is it shows respect. You are respecting the people who have invited you. And you're also respecting the other participants, the other people attending that event. Because when you walk in late, you are disturbing the other people. The other thing that happens when you arrive early is that it gives you an opportunity to scan the environment, to see who is coming by the door. Keep an eye on the door to see who is coming. Because there are certain people that you need to meet, so you'll be able to see what type of people are coming, where they are going to sit, and who are going to talk to. Remember, networking must be intentional. It's something. It's not. You just shouldn't just happen by chance. It's intentional. So when you arrive early, you have an opportunity to see who is coming and you are going to speak to. And when you're at that event, there are a number of things that you need to observe. Don't just barge into a conversation. Usually when cocktails, in cocktails you have people, groups of people everywhere. When there are two people talking to each other, especially a man and a wife, you can't just barge in and start talking to them. In groups of people, look for what we call gaps. When you see a gap, join that gap. When you get into that group, listen. Don't just walk in there and start talking about yourself and your company and all the other things that you know. Listen. So one of the things that you need to do to develop your networking skills is to improve your communication skills. You need to know what to say, when to say. And you also need to develop your listening skills. When people are talking, listen carefully. Somebody's going to talk, when I used to play tennis, I used to do this. Oh, me too, I also play tennis. So establish common ground with the person that is speaking. The moment you establish that common ground, you'll be able to ascend. If the person identifies himself with you, from the fact that both of you are tennis players, your connection moves from level 1 to level 2. It's very important that you actually develop these communication skills. Listen carefully, show interest in other people. And when you show interest in other people, you'll be able to create good networks. A lot of times people attend events, and the following day, they only remember 3 things from that event: the food, the drinks, and the music. Really? A cocktail, business function, and only remember the food, drinks, and the music. The following day, what we would like to hear is, I struck a good deal. I'm going to see so-and-so. So the things that need to be done after is making sure you have a follow-up from that event. So gentlemen, networking is about developing meaningful relationships with other people that will help you to achieve your life purpose, build your business, and develop yourself socially. You need to master the networking game for you to be able to create wealth and increase your net worth. But be mindful of the people that you bring close to yourself, because you're an average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. Master the networking game, because your network is your net worth. Thank you.
I think it's just allowed to enjoy it.
I didn't see networking from that perspective, from the accounting side.